Hey, how are you guys? It is Harrison Barron from growth-generators.com. Now, in this video, I'm going to cover the 6 important steps that you need to follow to build a massively successful MSP. This is going to be ideal for somebody that is thinking about starting an MSP, but if you have already started, don't worry, you probably missed something, and I'm going to be covering that as well in this video. Before I get into the video, I do want to mention one quick thing. There is a master class down below. Go check it out. You're going to get tons of value, how to make more money, and ultimately how to grow your business. Even if you're just starting out and you're like, I don't know, learn how to sell it first, because that is going to be the hardest hill, the hardest hurdle. It is the most difficult thing that people struggle with in the MSP world. And I'm going to be covering some of that in this video, and additionally some marketing down the road. So you're not going to want to miss that as well. So let's get into it. The first things first, you have to come up with some kind of business plan and do some level of market research. Now, if you're a very technical person, more than likely you have all the skills in your back pocket. But if you're not a technical person, a lot of people get caught up on the business plan side of it. So if you have already worked for an MSP, you want to start to take notes of everything that goes on. The teams, the people, the managers, the sales. You want to just start being a little more observant. Now, I'm not saying steal it, but it's the way you shift your mind and start to figure out, hey, I probably need to pay a little bit more attention to certain areas, or how the business works, or how does a service ticket come in, or how does a salesperson send us over and say, hey, we have a work order, or we have an invoice that we need to go fulfill, whether that's installing computers, whatever it may be. But start to figure out what that business plan is going to look like in your mind. And that business plan is going to contain a lot of the other areas that I'm going to be mentioning, because it's 6 parts to this entire video. You want to figure out what tools you're currently using, what the tech stack looks like, but even more so than that, how those tools interact. How does that help the customer? What is that actual value that is provided? Now, obviously, you're helping customers stay, more secure, keep better uptime, and employees productive, but that list can really go on and on and on. The more details, especially if you're already in the space, the better. Now, if you're not already in the space, that's okay too. Start to think about how you would want somebody to help a business, whether that's remote support, cybersecurity support, backups. The list can consistently go on and on. And really, you want to just jot down as much information as possible. And once you've already kind of come up with your business plan of what you want to do, you want to organize your thoughts. And that is a really important step. I personally am a huge fan of brain dumping. I write everything down on a piece of paper and then go through and say, oh, I like this. Let me add this here. Let me add this here. So that way you can come up with your full-blown business plan. Now, this video is not on how to build a business plan. There's plenty of templates online. You can go grab those. I don't want to make this all about a business plan, but also you need to figure out market research. How are people charging? I've already mentioned how you should be charging, but there's a lot of other market research that goes into it. Your branding, how you want to position your brand. Is brand the most important thing? Absolutely not. The company makes the brand. The brand does not make the company. But going into it with at least a thought of what you want in the beginning is really, really important. How many businesses could you possibly service? What area do you want to focus on? Is all a part of your market research. What technology is available? What vendors can actually even sell you technology? Now, I know that this sounds all super complicated, and it's things that you are probably going to help figure out over time. But going into it with a thought in your mind of saying, hey, this is something I need to know about, whether or not you take action on it right then and there, as long as you know about it, as long as it's in the back of your mind, you can then progress infinitely faster than somebody going in completely blind. That is what separates you. Now, I know some people that do follow me are blind, and that is nothing against you guys, but you want to have at least some information to prepare yourself through this whole process, because if you don't and you have no idea where you're headed, you're going to be in for a rough ride. Start taking notes, and just, even if you're like, I'm not ready for a business plan, that's okay. Just have a brain dump of spots on a piece of paper that you can say, hey, target market, what I need to focus on, finances, people to order products from. And as you discover new areas, jot it in there. So you have a master reference sheet that you can go back to over and over and over again. Additionally, I'll throw in one more caveat. If you haven't gone through the buyer persona worksheet already, stop wasting time. You are hurting yourself. This video is not about it, but there's a link down below to the video where you can download the worksheet as well. But go through that, because that is going to give you a target market and also speed up your market research infinitely faster than anything else. Number 2, you got to get your legal stuff in place. Now, there's a lot of legal things that you need to take care of. The most important is going to be forming your corporation, whether that's an LLC, S Corp, C Corp, sole proprietor, whatever it is for you. And I don't know what other countries do, so I apologize. I can only speak for the United States, but you have to have some level of corporation. And here's why. Your corporation is the legal barrier between you and your client. That's all it is. So God forbid something goes terribly wrong with your client. You now have the ability to say, hey, that's the corporation and not me. And it keeps it separate. Where you have to be careful about is how you spend corporate money. Now, this is not legal advice. This is not financial advice. Go speak to the appropriate professionals based on your location. But what I can tell you is that is how it ultimately works. It is just a legal barrier. What's right for you, what's right for your finances and all that, I cannot give that information. You have to go seek that information from the appropriate personnel, whoever they are. After that, it's building out your SLAs, figuring out what kind of permits or legality kind of terms that you need to meet, whether that, depending on where you are, that could be compliance laws, that could be whatever it is up to you to do your own homework. Because if I was making this video for the whole world, this video, I would probably, first of all, I would never know where to go, but every single country, state, region is going to have its own rules, regulations, and regulatory agencies. So I can't give you that advice. But what I can tell you is make sure that you dot your I's, cross your T's, form that corporation. I'm pretty sure a corporation is required in everywhere in the world, and make sure you speak to the appropriate people. You are going to want to get a lawyer involved, and you're going to want to get an accountant involved sooner than later, because some type of corporation might be a better fit than another type of corporation. And starting with an accountant is the best decision you can ever make. It was the best decision I ever made when I went out and started my own business. So go take that advice. It's going to suck paying them. I understand that, but having that start off on the right foot is paramount for your success, and it just removes the stress in your mind of all the legalities and issues. Now, after that, you do want to also add some other areas in there. Your SLAs, you're going to need to get your lawyer involved in that. Your cybersecurity and compliance, you're going to need to get your lawyer involved in that. And that's going to be also kind of merged in with your business plan and market research. What is an appropriate SLA? Service level agreement. What's required? What's not required? What's normal in this area? Because you might think, I need 2-hour support and nobody else in your area is offering same day support. Maybe you could loosen it up a little bit. It'll give you a little bit more leeway with starting that business and help you grow quicker. So just keep that in mind. Number 3 is figure out what you are actually going to be selling. I know this sounds crazy, but you are going to need to get your softwares in line. I've already made videos on your entire tech stack that you're going to need. You're going to absolutely need an RMM, a PSA tool, and some kind of cybersecurity. It does not matter, Bitdefender, ESET, but you need to have a ConnectWise, a Enable, a Terra. The list goes on and on. Whatever it is, start to figure out what services you're going to provide and what tools you can use to offer those services. Some people are going to be offering significantly more advanced levels of cybersecurity. Some people are going to offer different levels of training and education, such as KnowBe4 and rolling that out. Whatever it is, you have to know what you're going to be selling. So that way, when somebody says, oh, what do you do? I do this, and this. And this is who we help. This person, this person, this person, this person. And how we help them is this way, this way, this way, this way. That way, when somebody goes, who should I refer you to? Or who would be a good fit for you? They know exactly on who to put under that imaginary person I keep talking about. That buyer persona, you want to identify that. You want to figure out exactly the services that you're going to be providing and figure out how much to charge for those services. Stop pulling numbers out of your butt. It does not work. It's not effective. It ultimately is going to cost you money. And the worst clients in the world are the cheapest ones. 10 out of 10 times, you're doing nobody, including yourself, a favor by charging too little. You're hurting yourself. You're hurting the industry. You are becoming a commodity, and it is a race to the bottom, and it is the worst thing you can possibly do. And to avoid this, go take that masterclass, because it is just absolutely awful. It's the worst thing you could possibly do in your business. But define those services, how much you're going to be charging for them, so that way you can actually appropriately go sell those services. Number 4, invest in infrastructure and those tools. That tech stack I've already mentioned is vital to your success. You're going to need some accounting software while you're talking to your accountant. Hey, what accounting software do you guys use? I'd like to use the same one you guys use, so that way it's easier. Don't get a software and then go find an accountant. Get an accountant and then go get the software, because it's much easier to learn one software once than multiple softwares to fit who you're working with. Find an accountant that you like, an accountant that you trust, who probably has some good reviews and referrals, and you could say, hey, whether that's Xero, QuickBooks, Honeybooks, whatever it is, you want to make sure that you become a pro in that, so that way they can use it effectively to help you grow your business. A good accountant is worth their weight in gold, and I will die on that throne. I see so many people trying to get the cheapest accountant, not investing in an accountant. It is the worst thing ever. The amount of money that I have spent on my accountant, I have gotten it back probably 100x at this point, and that is not an exaggeration. A good accountant that is willing to help you and help a small business, that knows what they're talking about, is worth their weight in gold. I promise you that one. But you got to get those tools. You got to invest in that infrastructure and start making these tools work. Don't go out and buy every tool, but the bare minimum. Some level of cybersecurity, an RMM, and a PSA tool is all you need to start. Yes, you're going to need accounting software and you're going to need everything else under the sun. But if somebody was like, what is the bare minimum? That is the bare minimum to go out there and actually start building a business with that legal entity and your business plan in place and your ideal customer. So when somebody asks who to introduce you to, you know exactly who you want to have on, who that person is, so you can have them as a customer. Number 5 is building a skilled team. Hopefully you're closing profitable deals extremely quickly. You become a sales assassin, whether or not you go through that masterclass down below or my sales pro blueprint down below, or whatever it is, but building a team. If you realize that you are really good at being a tech, go hire a salesperson immediately. I'm going to be making a video on how to go hire a salesperson, because it is extremely difficult and nobody has that information other than me and maybe a handful of other people. I only say this because I helped take a company from $2 million to $6 million a year, and I was not a salesperson. You can build the best salesperson. I promise you, it is a possibility to do that. But figure out what you're bad at. If you're like, I am the best salesperson in the world, go hire a rock star technician. They will help you accelerate your growth infinitely faster, but figure out what you lack and hire what you need. That is going to be the key success to getting you to grow, build that team, and ultimately scale quicker. It is so critically important. And if you're curious on how to do that, at this point in the video, you should be crushing that like button. I mean, like, dominate that like button. Hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you don't miss that video, because I'm coming up with it very, very soon. And last but not least, number 5 is focus on these 2 skills, marketing and sales. You need marketing to help bring in new leads. If you don't have the money for marketing, that's okay. That's where sales comes into play. Learning how to prospect, having that perfect buyer persona is vital to your success. Being able to sell appropriately. People have asked me constantly over and over again, should I invest in sales training before I start my business? The answer is always yes, because the worst thing, the absolute worst thing that you can do is have a cheap client right from the get-go. They're going to suck all the time out of your day. They're going to suck all the money out of your pocket, and they're going to burn through the little profit that you built into that deal. It is vital for you to get good at sales. I cannot stress it enough, because without a good sales skill, the company is dead. You can be a tech ninja, but you can't rely fully on your clients sending you referrals to build your business. It's just not feasible. It doesn't matter how good you are. You are going to need to be good at sales to increase your profits, to have a very good idea of what you should be charging, finding those prospects, and closing a high percentage of those deals, because when you do, your business can grow. Every single business on this planet needs revenue to grow. And if you find one that doesn't, leave a comment down below, because I'd be dying to know which one doesn't need profit to grow. It just doesn't exist out there. And if you think I missed something through this list of 6 of the most important things that you're going to need, leave a comment down below. I'd be curious to see what other people think, especially if you're pretty successful already. I'd be curious to see what I missed out on. But if you're starting, you just started, or you're thinking about starting that business, you have to follow all 6 of these, preferably in this order, because that is what is going to make you successful, legally not liable, depending on what you do. Going to find that appropriate advice, getting that tech stack involved so you can go crush it and build a crazy successful business that'll provide you all of the wealth that you want. I said wealth, not money. Some people wealth is freedom. Some people wealth is money. Whatever it is, maybe it's just health and allows you to focus on your health. Whatever it is, you need to go follow these 6, because the 6 most important things to starting an MSP, following all of these, you will crush it. And if you're ready to invest in marketing and you're at that point, hit that subscribe button, because those marketing videos are right around the corner. I'm going to be bringing out all of the best videos that the internet has ever seen in the MSP space. I love you guys. I appreciate the constant support. You guys have reached out to me in one way or another. It lights up my day. You guys are an amazing, amazing group of people. I'm getting the chills. I love the hell out of you guys. I'll see you guys later. Until next time, bye.